I'm saying welcome to House of Israel, Nigeria. At House of Israel, we share five unique visions. Our vision is to be a worshiping people. Our vision is to be an evangelistic community. Our vision is to be a discipleship center. Our vision is to be an equipping network. Our vision is to be a worldwide witness of Yeshua the Messiah. This five core vision guides and directs our actions and programs at House of Israel Nigeria. We believe we have been called to catalyze a spiritual awakening in the nations. And through our teachings and programs and publications, we've been able to transform and shape the lives of countless around the world. We want you to continue to pray with us and partner with us in this vision of being a discipleship center of global awakening. We believe we've been called to establish a training facility where people all across Africa and the world can be deeply taught the word of Jehovah, taught his commandment, and taught his law, and by so doing, we experience transformation globally. This is our role and this is our job. We believe this to be a lifelong commitment, and we welcome you to be a part with us and to get involved with House of Israel, Nigeria, in making this a reality. To learn more about us, quickly go on our website www.hoinigeria.com. I look forward to hearing from you. Shalom. I want to appreciate Jehovah for the work so far at the House of Israel International Headquarters. The Kingdom Legacy Project has been an amazing work so far. Jehovah has been faithful to his word. Now I'm going to take us into the facility and show you around the work so far. So let's just go inside. The blocks here are handmade and it's decided to go about making blocks so we can have the qualities we desire. So here are the Shalom Saint, thank you so much for being a part of our Kingdom Legacy project construction. We have been able to come this far because of your partnership. And we want to appreciate every partner who has supported our dream of building a discipleship training center dedicated to discipling the nation and equipping the saints. A community where lives are transformed, the love of Messiah is shown, the true gospel of the kingdom is presented, and this is how far the project has come because of your timely support. We want to encourage you to keep supporting this project, and together we will see the completion of this great work. A place of peace, a place of refuge, and a place of truth. Our international guest house is also being built, so we look forward to seeing you and having you on the feast days and feast season. We love you. Shalom. Have you with us today on this special training journey? Wherever you watch us from, I want to encourage us right now to open our Bibles before we pray. Turn with me to Genesis chapter 1. Turn with me to Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning, Elohim created the heaven and the earth. In the beginning, Elohim created the heaven and the earth. Bow your heads with me as we pray. We acknowledge that you are the creator of the heaven and the earth. Jehovah, we bow our hearts to you, to this powerful truth, that we pray this truth to be a new driving force or a deeper driving force of our lives. As we acknowledge today that you, Elohim, created the heaven and the earth. And we receive that revelation today. And we receive that truth in our hearts today. I will decree that from today we will walk in the light of this truth, Jehovah. We thank you in Yeshua's name.
Amen.
Once again, welcome to House of Israel, Nigeria. At the House of Israel, our vision is to be a worshiping people. Our vision is to be an evangelistic community. Our vision is to be a discipleship center. Our vision is to be an equipping, to be a disciple center. Yeah, so our vision is to be a discipleship center, to be a place where people are equipped, and to be a worldwide witness of Yeshua the Messiah. And my desire today is that we will be equipped and discipled through the teaching of His word this very evening. You know, as a people devoted and called to equip the saints and to shape the face of the next generation, we have a responsibility to place discipleship at the forefront of our hearts. And as we pursue discipleship, we are helping people regain a new perspective and to help them renew their minds from the old ways of traditions and religion. And I'm praying that Jehovah will cause you and I to embrace the call to discipleship so your mind can be changed. So you won't operate with the same old mindset you have. Because for your mind to be transformed, you need new information. You need new understanding. So that's what we are called to do, to help you live a triumphant life through the transformation of your mind. So you're going to experience transfiguration as you open your hearts to the word of Jehovah and as you allow His word to change you. Praise Jehovah. So that's my desire today. So we began a series titled the Champion's Mentality, and this is a series that I've been taking us through for the following weeks gone by. And from this series, I've developed different teachings from this series. We looked at courage, we looked at cowardice, and we've looked at different areas of information as it relates to us walking in triumph, walking in courage, walking in power over fear, and also walking in the light of Jehovah as our creator. And today, I feel a strong need that this teaching will be one of the most profound of the teachings I've made, or my sermons or teachings or my exhortation, whatever you've heard me talk about or heard me say. I'm having a deep sense that this teaching will be weighty today, and to be one that will empower those who listen and hear and hearken and receive the word. It is one that will set you free, because why? The truth you know sets you free. So don't just look around and say, oh, think about yourself today and say, Father, I know I've come to receive the word of Jehovah into my heart. And I pray you drive this word into my spirit. That this word will be one that will cause me to experience a new level of thinking. It will elevate my understanding and bring me into divine victory. And that's my desire for you this evening as we explore this training, this very moment. So we're looking at the Creator, His principles and order. So the title of the message, as you can see on your screen, is titled Creator, Principle and Order. Creator, Principle, and what? Order. The Creator's Principle and Order. The Creator's Principle and Order. Have you ever thought of the Creator this week? It's a blessing. Did you spend this week thinking of your Creator?
Yes.
Oh, what did you think of your creator when you thought about him? Or you thought of food, you thought of your education, or you thought of your wife, your children. How many of us actually took time to think of the creator? You can get so busy, they think they say yes. Oh, told you yes. You thought of you told you. So you're now, so he's now so important. You took time to think of the creator. You know why? People are so busy. Busyness, selfish ambition, you're self-centered. See, man is a creation that has gone rogue. Man is a compromised creation. Most people are busy thinking about their own convenience, even their own life. They've forgotten the one who created that life, who gave that life. He's a forgotten factor in our existence. Don't get this thing straight, because if you truly tell me you took time to think of the creator, something will happen to you. See, when people begin to take time to meditate and think about the creator, this thinking or this meditation will eventually elevate them and break them out of the circle of carnality, the mundane life, and it will lift them up to the greater place or the greater plane of power. A large amount of time, think about it, we spend so much time on Facebook, on WhatsApp, on Twitter, on Instagram. We spend time watching television, we spend time catering to needs, we spend time catering to the needs of our spouse, the needs of our children. We spend time thinking about what are we going to eat. Look at what Yeshua said. Most people spend their life worrying about what they will eat, what they will drink, and what they will wear. So if a large amount of your life is spent thinking about those things, do you think you will ever have the space to think about the creator? So these are the things we are talking about. And if you will understand this message, I'm pulling you out of the pit of the lesser place man has found himself. I spent my today, you know what I was doing today? I was just pondering about the creator. I wasn't just thinking about the creator, I was thinking about the creator's principles and order. And I looked around today when I went outside, I looked at a lot of people. I said, wow, no wonder the earth is this way, because men have forgotten the creator's principles and order. So when you forget the creator's principles and his order, you're going to be malfunctioning. So many created things or created people are malfunctioning. You are a creation in malfunction state. Because why? You are a creation that has forgotten the creator. The forgotten creator. I think I'll do a teaching on the forgotten creator. The forgotten creator. It's so amazing. Now, last Shabbat, I was saying something to us, and I will reiterate what I said last Shabbat. I said the creator. You know, we're looking at the creator and creatorship and ownership. Did you forget the teaching?
No.
Or if you remember the teaching, creatorship and ownership. I said Jehovah is the creator, and we established that principle in Genesis chapter 1. And then we also established the principle of ownership in Genesis, the same chapter, that Jehovah is the creator of the heavens and the earth. But when it comes to the earth, he has delegated and given man radar, that is dominion power, ownership deed, to be Lord over his creation, over the earth. Don't forget that. So man is the owner of the earth. Man is the owner of the earth. And I said to you, I said, when it comes to how the earth or how the universe will function, don't forget,
Nobody creates in vain. Nobody creates in vain. See, when you start creating or when you're creating something, you're looking at how it will function and how it will function well and how it is supposed to work. And we saw that the Bible actually tells us in Genesis 1 verse 1 that in the beginning Elohim created the heaven and the earth. And we explored Genesis 3 down to Genesis 28 and we saw the created things. And we saw that when Jehovah came to the creation of man, he did something. He made man in his image and in his what? Likeness. I say it speaks of the DNA of Jehovah. So man now has Jehovah's DNA. And that DNA was given to man so he can walk in radar. He can walk in dominion power to rule on the earth. Dominion power. So now, the earth that man found himself, and we saw this in Genesis chapter 3, that Adam became Lord over creation. And don't forget, I'm going to speak on this as we look at the concept of free will. And I said to you that in the creation account from Genesis chapter 2, we see principle and order of Jehovah. First, we saw the order of the Sabbath. That Jehovah created the whole world in 6 days. On the seventh, he rested. So he blessed the 7th day. So we see the order, that there's an order there. So we're looking for order. So as we look at Genesis, what are you looking for? What do you look for in Genesis? Principle and order. So when you look at Genesis, look for principle and order, because why? Genesis 1, 2, and 3 reveals to us principle and order of the Creator. So in Genesis chapter 2, we see the principle and order. So we see there's an order that he didn't bless the first day, second day, third day, but he tells us on it that he blessed the 7th day. Why? Is the first day unimportant? No. He's establishing order. Why? He's the Creator. So we see the order there. So we do not overlook that order. There's an order. So he blessed it. He hallowed it. He sanctified the 7th day. So don't forget, it's a principle and order. And secondly, we see the order of limit. I explained this to you on Shabbat. That he called man and said to man, of the fruit of the tree in this garden, you can eat of any one, but this particular one, you cannot eat of it. The day you eat of it, you what? Surely what? Die. The order of limit. Did you see that? The order of limit. Why? The Creator gives what? Principle and order. So the order of limit. And there is also called the order of boundary. And that's what Creator do. Why? Everything has boundary. That's how you use an object and you start killing it. And even this chair here, it's how you wash it that you kill it. It's a soap you use, even at your car. It's a soap you use to wash your car, you start killing the car. There's a temperature you expose certain things to, they will start dying. So that is the order of it. So God did not put the tree in the garden to tempt Adam. Don't say, why did God put a tree when he knew you will eat it? No, it's not the issue. The issue that the tree was there by design. And by order, he said, don't eat of it. So it was not there to tempt him. It was there because it was the Creator's design and order. It's part of it. So we know this chair will last longer if we use the right soap, wash it properly, and we expose it to the right temperature. That's the order of it. So we see the order of limit. And lastly, we see the order. We see the order of free will. So though I didn't use the word the order of free will, it also means the ownership rights. I explained it to mean the order of free will. It should be the order of free will, but I use the term ownership rights. And why would I use the term ownership rights? Don't forget that in the beginning, Jehovah gave Adam what? Radar, dominion power. That means he's the owner of the earth. Now, he now does something else. he brings all of the creation, he brings all the things he created to Adam, asking Adam to do what? To name them. To name them. And we are told whatever Adam named them, that was what they were called. Why? He has the ownership rights. Did you see that? And why was that ownership right given to man? Don't forget, because I'll teach on this today. Because this has been a struggle for many philosophers and scholars. The concept of free will. Why give man a free will? Why was man given a free will? That's the question. Why was man given a free will? And what is a free will? What is a free will? What is a free will? Free will. Do you know of all the created things, only man has a free will? Only man has a free will. Only man has it. You know what the free will is? You know what the free will is? Do you know you have a free will? You know you have a free will? But you don't know what the free will is. You see? The free will is powerful. What makes man unique is the free will that Jehovah gave him. I mean, I say, why would God give man a free will? Because why? He was given rather dominion, rulership power, ruling power. And why? He needed a free will. He needed free will so he can think, expand, and develop. See, God gave man free will so man can think, expand, and develop. Man is given free will so he can think, expand, and develop. That's why you have your free will. The challenge is that man has used free will against the Creator. The free will is a license to say, okay, think about it. When we were growing up, think about it. You come to this house. You came to this house, and I say, "Oh, sister, welcome. You can go anywhere. You can sit anywhere." See, when I think about it, there are some houses you get into, and you're told, "This chair, don't sit on this chair." That means you're not given the free will to say, "I will sit there." So the free will to sit on a chair has been removed. So free will is given to man to operate as his creativity is released. Free will is a license to develop. Free will is a license to expand. Free will is a license to think. To think. Now, and you are told, you know what? Here's a mansion. You can move around any house, sleep on any bed, eat anything in this mansion, but you mustn't enter the master's bedroom. Why? So the free will limits you entering that bedroom, but it still expands your capability to expand and develop any area. Many times man feel, okay, you know what? This space is not enough. I still want a master's. The issue with the free will is this. The free will of man, you're given a mansion. You're in a mansion. You're told you could enter any room, sleep on any bed, but only one room you're told not to enter, the master's bedroom. One time you find that you now start entering every room. You're just asking yourself, why did he even tell me not to enter the master's bedroom? Before long, your desire will not be drawing you towards the master's bedroom. You not begin to act with resentment. Why? I'm allowed to enter this any room here. Why not the master bedroom? Why is the master bedroom removed from me? And this is the challenge when we don't understand the Creator's design and order. People by nature, man by nature has been unable to fully manage the gift of free will. Have a free will. Your free will. Don't you understand? You should praise Jehovah every day for the gift of free will. That means Jehovah is saying you have the ownership right to name. Adam, name this animal. Whatever you call it, that is what their name is. That's the free will. God could have named them. Jehovah could have named them, but he gave man the free will, the ownership right to do it. But the free will does not include the tree of good and evil, the fruit of the tree and evil. The free will covers every other tree. But man was not contented with with his free will exploring every other tree. He still uses free will against the Creator. What we see today in our world is unmanaged, corrupted use of human free will. So here we see something I want to show you so strong, and I want to repeat. I said the free will is given to man to think, to expand, and to develop. You know why it is given to you? To think. So Jehovah is not going to be thinking for you. Because he's your creator doesn't mean he thinks for you. God is not thinking what you eat. See, get it straight. Said, God is not thinking what kind of food you eat today. If you wake up in the morning, who thinks about that for yourself? You think, oh, I want to eat jollof rice. I want to eat plantain. Do you think Jehovah is the one doing the thinking for you? No, you're thinking for yourself. Why? You have the free will to think for yourself. What clothes should I put on now? What kind of shirt should I wear? All of those things are within the freedom of your free will to decide. Who do I marry? So certain things are within your free will to decide. Why? You are the owner. But certain things do not cover your free will. They cover the jurisdiction of the Creator. Now let's pay attention so you won't misuse your life. Everything does not cover your free will. The things that do not cover your free will are within the jurisdiction of the Creator. So your free will is given to you to think, to expand, and to develop. So now let's go straight to the message. Creator, principle, and order. The Creator's principle and order. Now don't forget what I said last Shabbat. Don't forget what I said last Shabbat. Now let me repeat what I said last Shabbat. I said, the Creator gives principles and order. It is from Him we learn how everything is programmed and designed to work. Don't forget this statement, my sister, my brother, those watching, wherever you're watching us from. Don't forget this statement. The Creator gives what? Principles and order. It is from the Creator we learn how everything is programmed and designed to work. And I said also that the Creator gives boundaries. The Creator gives boundaries. So we need the Creator to live in His created world. These are the foundation of His teaching. These are the foundation of His teaching. I'm going to repeat the foundation. They are the basic elements. If you forget anything, don't forget this foundation. The Creator gives principles and order. It is from Him we learn how everything is programmed and designed to work. The Creator gives boundaries. So we need the Creator to live in His created world. And one of the thinking that I've developed lately that has helped me from this teaching is this. I'm beginning to think about the Creator's order. I'm beginning to think of the Creator's principle. If you will apprehend the Creator's principle for finance, for marriage, for wealth creation, you will maximize your potential. Because why? Only through the Creator can we maximize our potential, our abilities, our giftings, the things He put in us, the power He has placed in us. All these things the Creator has placed in us can only be maximized when we understand the Creator's principles and order. When we understand the Creator's principles and order. Now turn with me to Genesis 2. Genesis 2. See, this old earth, as you see it, saints, is not working by chance or by accident. If you look at the operation of the sun, how the sun rises and how the sun goes down. If you look at the ocean, the mountain, the valley, the forest, the birds of the air, and all the created things, they begin to ignite your awareness of the Creator. And the adversary has a trick to make sure your awareness of the Creator is not ignited. He wants to place you in the darkness of rejection of the Creator. Now, okay, now we're still going to look at Genesis chapter 2. Let me take also to Psalms 14. Now, just quickly, let's go to Psalm 14. Psalms 14. Psalm 14. Psalm 14, verse 1. The adversary has a trick. The adversary has a trick. Now, I'm going to show you the trick of the adversary. He wants to keep you in the dark, so you don't walk in the awareness, or your awareness of the Creator is not ignited. Are you there? Psalm 14, verse 1. Can somebody help me read Psalm 14, verse 1?
Psalm 14, verse 1. Psalm 14, verse 1 says, the fool has said in his heart.
The fool has said in his heart,
there is no Elohim.
there is no God.
They are corrupt.
Who are corrupt? The fool.
They have done abominable works. There is none who does good.
Now, let's just pause there. You can read the remaining for yourself. He said, the fool has said in his heart. The goal of Satan is to darken your heart, so your awareness of the Creator is not ignited. So what happens? That person becomes a fool. So in his heart, there is no God. See, now think about it. He didn't say the fool has said with his mouth. He's not saying the fool has said with his mouth. He said the fool has said where? Where?
In his heart.
In his heart. And his heart is the structure of his being. In other words, in his heart, there is a language that plays out his behaviors and action, in his thinking. So his disposition is framed in such a way he walks as if there's no God. So once you have this sense of forgetting the Creator, you become a fool. So, and you don't have to say it with your mouth, and not everybody say it with their mouth. So it's hard you meet someone who tell you there's no God. If you go to Europe and America and some areas in Africa, and some scholars and those who call themselves the enlightened ones, they'll tell you there's no God. Atheists will tell you there's no God. And those who have had bad experiences, who've met people who have bad experience, life has been so unfair to them. In their mind, they come to the conclusion, because of the bad things that have happened to me, there can't be a God. So there are those who have that declaration because of the bad things they've experienced. You see, so this is the trick of the adversary, to make you forget God or reject God. And if you're not vocalizing it with your mouth because of bad experience, you are vocalizing it with your heart. So the challenge of the adversary is to place men in this place where their heart can say there's no God. Your heart is saying it, there's no God. And once your heart says there's no God, it says they have done abominable works. You know why? When you say there's no God, you also remove the two things I mentioned. The principle and order of God is now removed. And when the principle and order of God is not in a place, there will be what? The doing of abominable work, abomination. The reason why we need this principle and order is so we can understand boundaries, limitation, understand the ownership rights, understand our limits. So why? You and I will become men who will begin to do abominable works. Abominable works. It's now being promoted in our world. Somebody come and tell me I'm no more a man. I'm now a woman. I want to turn myself into a woman. I'm now a gay. You know, I was watching a program on television, and this girl was with a mother. They had a roundtable talk. She said she's now polyamorous. Polyamorous. I didn't know that. I didn't know that word before, but I heard it from her. Polyamorous. It means that she said she can't marry just one man. In other words, she was speaking against polygamy as a social construct. In other words, she said polygamy is a social construct or a religious construct that is now practiced within societies, meaning people are free to choose. People are free to choose whom to love and how they can express their love. So for her, she can love more than one man. So she said, just think about it. And the mother was there. She came home. She said she came home one day and told the mom, "Mommy, the polygamy is not monogamy is not for me. I'm polyamorous, meaning I'm not going to get married to just one man. I want to have multiple sexual partners, and see how it works. If I'm a man, I will have 10 women, and those 10 women will also have other men. It's not as if you have 10 people, you're loving these people to themselves. They also have the freedom to love other people. So polyamorous means you love 10 men, and those 10 men have the liberty to love 10 other women. And the mother was there, listening attentively, and supporting that madness. That your 18 years old daughter tell you she's polyamorous. And you are saying you have the right to your own opinion. So I told my wife, I said, sweetheart, and I told my wife this based on that understanding. The only way our children will know they have no opinion is if we raise them to understand that God's principle and order supersede their own opinion. Because if you don't teach your children that Jehovah's principle and order supersede their own opinion, they will come one day and tell you, Mommy, I feel I'm a gay. I feel I'm an homosexual. Mommy, this is what I want. So they will start wanting abomination. Because why? You have not taught them the principle and order of God. And that's the challenge we face today. And I'm going to explain these things in light of two things: worship and marriage. Marriage is crashing in our world today before our very eyes. Before our very eyes, we are seeing polygamy. Polygamy. Men, women who are dissatisfied with God's design for God, for monogamy. You know what? Why they were discussing these things in a round table, and it's an issue. It's an issue because monogamy itself has a challenge. The challenge of monogamy is keeping fidelity. The challenge of monogamy is what? Keeping fidelity. So because you're married to one person, you make a vow that I'm going to marry just one person in the face of many women or many men. How can somebody in the face of multiple women in this world say, I'm going to stay with one? How can you, in the face of multiple men in this world, say, I'm going to stay with just one man and woman? So for you to make that decision for monogamy, it must be because you are doing it because you understand that it is the design of Jehovah. Once you embrace monogamy without knowing the framework, the framework by which monogamy was designed, that it is the design of Jehovah, you will enter monogamy and you will still be unfaithful. Because of infidelity, monogamy as a principle of marriage of Jehovah is undergoing pressure right now. And right now in many society, polygamy is being reawakened. There is a reawakening of polygamy. There's a reawakening of polyamorous, multiple marital relationship. There's an awakening going on right now in our world. So it tells us in Psalm 14 verse 1, the fool has said in his heart, I can tell if you're a fool. I can tell you you're a big fool. I can look at your life and tell you a big fool. A big fool. When you say in your heart there is no Elohim, there is no creator. And how does your life show it? When your life is not operating by the design and the order of God. If your life is not under the design and order of the creator, you're a fool. If your life, and we all have been fools in many ways. You see why people now okay, let me show you something else. Let me show you something. Look at Proverbs 19. Quickly, no time to waste. Proverbs 19. Proverbs 19. You see Proverbs after Psalms. Verse 3. Somebody help me, verse 3. Proverbs 19, verse 3.
Proverbs 19 verse 3 says, the foolishness of a man twists his way, and his heart frets against Jehovah.
Now it says the foolishness of man twists. Proverbs 19 verse 3. It says the foolishness of man. Did they say a man? It says man of man. Is that it's just a man? It should be man. The foolishness of man perverted his way. It twists his way. It says, and his heart does what?
Frets against you.
His heart is angry at the Lord. His own foolishness of rejecting Jehovah's principle and order twists his way. Pervert his way. Eventually his heart begins to fret and rage against Jehovah. If you do not want your life to end in a state of destruction, one thing you must begin to learn now and teach your kids is to learn the principle and order by which the creation works. How does it work? Everything has a law and order. See, your prosperity is tied to the discovery of the principles and the order that guides creation. I'm telling you. See, your potential will not come alive if you don't discover this thing. And they are all in scriptures. Farmers know the principles of agriculture. So you can't even become a master farmer if you don't know the principle that governs farming. There's a law of seed time and harvest. There's a lot of what? Sowing and reaping. You can't sow corn and go reap what? Rice. So there are principles that govern all of these things. There's a law of gravity that keeps you on this side of the earth. Before an aeroplane can lift from the earth and fly into the heavens, it must understand the principle of gravity and of lift. So there are various dimensions of how his universe works, but he has designed that his universe will work by what? Principles and what? Order. Why? Where there is no order, there's what? Chaos. Chaos. Where there is no order, there will be accident. Where there's no order, there will be misfortune. Where there is no order, there will be misfortune. The order of creation. So we see in Psalms 14 verse 1, the fool has said in his heart, there is no Elohim. They are corrupt. They have done abominable works. There is none that doeth good. So there is no actions of righteousness or uprightness. Why? Their actions are not designed, are not operated or done by the principles and design of Jehovah. So when your action or your life is not being lived in the principles and the order of Jehovah, it will produce abominable works. And this is what we find in the 21st century society. Abortion, war, the killing, the hatred, the murder, and all the things we see, the dysfunction in our society is a result of a society forgetting, abandoning, and rejecting the design and the order of Jehovah. And this will increase in the last days. In the last days, we'll see the highest departure, apostasy to the design and the order of Jehovah. But those who will uphold and stay with Jehovah's principles and order will experience mammon and abundance and a blessing and a prosperity that the world will look at them and marvel that how did this person become so prosperous, become so blessed. And you will say, hey, we are blessed because we live our lives by the principles and the order of the Creator. I now know that I am a creation and I have a creator. And this gives me great peace. And once you know you have a creator, it saves you from the sphere of worry. And this life of worrying, pantering yourself, beating yourself with worry and anxiety tells me that you have departed from this great alliance with your creator. Are you in touch with your creator? It's so mind-blowing that many of us are not in touch with our creator. And that's what I want this teaching to produce today for you. And I can't force you to do that. And I can't make it happen for you. Because you will be here, watching, and then your mind is far off the creator. Because why? In your heart, it is clear there's no God. In your heart is clear there's no God. So you are now engrossed in abomination. You are now sold out to iniquity. Because your heart shows a display there's no God. And that's my fear for everyone listening and watching today. If your heart says there's no God, you will malfunction. You will malfunction. Now, since we live in a society that says there's no God, it's clear. This is so heavy in my heart. Now, there's this lady, there's this man in the US, Katie Jenner or so, or Katie Jenner or so. He changed himself from a man to a woman. And this is a renowned voice in the US. And this man turned to a woman was in a show called The View. There's a show in the US called The View. And this person is speaking into politics and speaking into society as a man who transformed to a woman. Now, if people begin to operate in abomination these days, platform is not removed from them. See, they still have the platform to speak to our children. So in other words, they embrace abomination, but they still have platform. This man turned woman has platform. She's now speaking to immigration issues, into political issues, into national developmental issue. In those days, if people metamorphose in that dimension, platform is removed from them, they go into hiding. Now we see that people will have more platform who are proponents of abortion, proponents of homosexuality, proponents of all abomination. Why? Society in the 21st century is rapidly on the verge of falling off the cliff. And I pray you won't fall along with them. Now that's my prayer. Our children will not fall along with them. Because if you look at this thing we're dealing with, these abominable works, the abominable works is in Disney. Have you seen the new Disney cartoons? Animation. There was a cartoon that came out. Not a cartoon, but an advanced kind of. See, cartoons have moved from this normal animation cartoon to now what we call Avatar. 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 And if you look at the concept of Avatar, we're watching that cartoon, like what we're watching about fire bending, earth, space, earth, fire, water, the four elements of the earth, the things that have the four forces of the earth. And we're looking at things like fire bending, Avatar. And this is programs on television being watched by billions of people. So people are now discovering their avatar self. Because your avatar self is dealing with your spirit. Your spirit. Your avatar, your spirit. And it is linked with the demonic. So if Hollywood or Disney can produce cartoons or movies that advances abomination, and they have the platform, that means our kids have there's no more hiding place for them, because now abomination now has a platform. It is now so visible. Everyone must have work. See, don't joke with this thing. You have work to do. We have a massive work to do. Some of the things they teach our kids in school is garbage. Garbage. They are teaching them how to walk in greater departure from the Creator. I won't use the word God. I'm trying to use the word the Creator, so I can establish in your mind a new apprehension and perspective of who you are and how you are supposed to function. I was sharing with you last Shabbat. I said to you, I have a Huawei telephone. Huawei, is it called Huawei? Huawei telephone. Huawei telephone. I'm not the creator. I'm the owner. I'm the owner of the telephone. But the creator, Huawei, have designed how the phone will work. They have designed how it will work. Jehovah has designed how this world will work. Jehovah has designed how your life is supposed to work. You will be a fool to ignore the design and the order of Jehovah to walk in your own ways, or to walk in the ways of a fallen society. Because why? This is a fallen society. This is a fallen culture. Down to the music, the songs, the lyrics. Most songs, if you're not paying attention to the lyrics or just thinking that you're just hearing the sound alone, but pay attention to the lyrics. It contains what? Murder, evil, destruction, iniquity. It contains all manner of satanic worship. My goal for you, my sisters and my brother, is that you will understand the Creator's principles and His order as it relates to worship. To worship. Now, I want to ask you a question. What principle guides your life? What principle guides your marriage? What principle guides your finances? What principle guides your existence on the earth? What is a principle? What is the guiding principles of your life, saint? Now turn with me to Acts 17. Acts 17. Acts 17. Acts 17. Acts 17. Acts 17, I will read from verse 16. Acts 17 from verse 16. Now, while Paul waited for them at Athens, his spirit was stirred in him when he saw the city wholly given to idolatry. Therefore, disputed he in the synagogue with the Jews and with the devout persons, and in the market daily with them that met with him. Verse 18. Then certain philosophers of the Epicurean and of the Stoic encountered Paul, and some said, What will this babbler say? Others some. He seemed to be a setter forth of a strange gods, because he preached unto them Yeshua and the resurrection. And they took him and brought him unto Areopagus, saying, May we know what this new doctrine thereof thou speakest is? For thou bringest certain strange things to our ears. We would know therefore what these things mean. Verse 21. For all the Athenians and strangers which were there spent their time in nothing else, but either to tell or to hear some new thing. Verse 22. Acts 17, 22. Then Paul stood in the midst of Mars Hill and said, Ye men of Athens, I perceive that in all things ye are too superstitious. For as I passed by and beheld your devotions, I found an altar with this inscription, To the unknown God, whom therefore ye ignorantly worship. Don't forget, ye ignorantly worship. Him I declare unto you. Verse 24. God that made the world, God that made the world and all things therein, seeing that he is Lord, or master of heaven and earth, dwelleth not in temples made with hands, neither is worship with hands as though he needed anything, seeing he himself giveth to all life and breath and all things. Now look at what it says about the creator Elohim. It says, seeing he himself giveth all life and breath and all things. Verse 26. And hath made of one blood all nations of men, for to dwell on all the face of the earth, and the times of their appointments, or determine the times before appointed, and the bounds of their habitation. 27. That they should seek the Lord, if haply they might feel after him and find him, though he be not far from every one of us. Verse 28. For in him, that's the creator, we live and move and have our being. As some of your own poets have said, for we are also his offspring. For so much then as we, the offspring of God, we ought not to think that the Godhead is like unto gold or silver or stone graven by art and man's device. And in times of this ignorant Jehovah winged art now commanded all men everywhere to change their mind to repent. Now, this is a very interesting encounter Paul has in Athens. So we see Paul here confronting the superstition of men and their religious mindset about who the Creator is and how the Creator operates. It appears these people have a longing or a vacuum in their heart about the Creator, but there is a misunderstanding. There is ignorance in the approach to the Creator. They have come to perceive the Creator as and to relate with the Creator as a created thing, and that's a challenge because many relate with the Creator as a created thing. So they think of the Creator as gold or silver or stone or a graven image made of man's device. So Paul is trying to pull people away from this kind of perspective or worldview. Now he begins by showing us something so profound from verse 5. Something so profound. Acts 17:5, profound. It tells us, neither is the Creator worshipped with men's hand, as though he needed anything. Profound truth. And worship and the Creator, because if we don't understand this principle and order, like I shared with us, I'm focusing on two areas: Creator, principle, and order as it relates to worship. Yeshua says that in praying to our Creator, we must not do so as the pagan do. They think by much repetition will be heard. God, do it, do it, do it good. And many times we come with God with repetition. In other words, we are praying and something tell us we have not been heard. Our prayer and our connection with God is superficial. It is frivolous. It is shallow. It is weak. It is paganistic. Paganistic. Because why? We are still perceiving the Creator with the mind of the created thing. Our God is still boxed. Our worship is traditional. Our worship is counterfeit. Our worship has been misplaced because of certain denominational errors we have come to embrace. Even in our prayers, like I said, repetition in prayer. Oh God, do it. We're praying in faith and then you're walking in doubt. So you cannot walk with the Creator this way. See, the only way we can walk fully in our highest potential is when we understand the Creator's design and order. Somebody shared with me something so profound many years ago about the law of automation. The law of automation. Think about it. You have an ATM card and you have some money in your bank account. See, you go to an ATM machine and you insert your debit card or credit card. If your PIN is not correct, if there's an error in your PIN, the ATM is not going to dispose forms to you. You're not going to, the ATM will not respond to you. Why? It has been programmed. It is automated. In the law of Jehovah's creation, we find certain automation. The sun is not begged to get up. Nobody wakes up in the morning and say, oh sun, come up. Oh sun, come up. No, the sun comes up by itself. It goes down by itself. It's what automated. The ocean has its boundary. The ocean knows where to get to. So everything in its creation is automated. It tells us that he has designed even animals and plants to produce after their own kind, automated. Even the receiving and the walking in his blessings are automated. You can get this thing right, sir. So stop jumping about. God's blessings are automated. You cannot walk in his blessings until you know his principles and order. Until you know his principles and his order. Now, so Paul will show us Jehovah's principle in worship. In verse 25, it tells of that Jehovah, neither is he worshipped with men's hand. He is not worshipped with men's hand. New perspective. You see, we have come to reduce him to created things. So when you think of him as a created thing, you limit him to your own level. He now tells us that as though he needed anything. So Jehovah needs nothing from you. He's a creator of all things. He says, saying that he giveth to all life and breath and all things. So he tells us the creator giveth to all life. Life. Think about it. What is life? What is life? Where do we get life from? Who licensed life? Who gives life? Who gives life? Why? Life is a license for existence. Life is a license for existence. Plants, animals, even human beings. So when you have life in you, life gives you the license to exist, to flourish. So it tells us life. Life is from the Creator. Man cannot give man life. Government, political leaders do not give life. So the highest authority in the universe is not government or governmental institution or man-made institution. The highest authority is the Creator, the one who made all things. He gave life. He said, and he gave breath, life and breath, that which allows us to live. He says that he gave all things. It will be foolishness to depart from the Creator, knowing he giveth life, breath, and all things. And so now Paul is going to show us here the structure of his order, the structure of how the Creator designed our order of operation. He says, and hath of one man, talking about of Adam, and hath made of one blood all nation of men, for to dwell on the face of the earth. So he showed us how it is. Now Paul is taking us back to Genesis 1 and 2, down to 3. It tells us that through Adam, Jehovah made all nations of men. It says to dwell on the face of the earth. It now says he has determined the times beforehand appointed. So here we see that Jehovah through Adam expanded the human race on the face of the earth. It now says that Jehovah the Creator also determined the times beforehand appointed. What does this mean? It says the word determine is a Greek word horizo. Horizo means to define, to mark out, to appoint, or to devise boundaries or limits. And don't forget what I mentioned, that the Creator gives principles and order. It is in him we know how the creation is supposed to work. Now, horizo speaks of determined. So here in Acts 6:26, Paul said that Jehovah determined horizo. He designed the times beforehand appointed. So he determined or designed. So the Creator determined the times. The Creator does what? He determined, appointed, mapped out, defined the times beforehand appointed. And the word beforehand, or the word beforehand, is the word prostazo. It is a word to define or to arrange towards. Meaning that Jehovah, the Creator, has designed, He has designed our times and how we are to walk in them. He has designed our times and how we are supposed to walk. So He has arranged times and boundaries of dwellings. Jehovah has done what? He has done what? He has arranged times and the boundaries of dwellings. It says, and the bounds of their habitation. Interesting. Verse 37 tells us that they should seek the Lord, if haply they might feel after him and find him, though the Creator be not far from every one of us. 28. For in him we live and move and have our being. As certain of your own prophets have said, we are his offspring. So Paul is establishing the right order of worship and perspective of the Creator. Say, we are his offspring. Even your own poets have one way gotten it right by calling you his offspring. There's an arrangement of times and dwellings, color, location, nationality, your gender. It's not about saying, I'm a man, I don't feel like a man, I want to change myself to a woman. No, it says Jehovah ounce of. So you will never have a gender problem or a sex problem. Because why? The Creator is perfect in his creation. But there is a challenge, and I'm going to end with that challenge today. Now let me take you to Romans 2. No, Romans 1. Let's go to Romans 1. Romans 1. So, and this will help us. I can tell people's problem. I can tell your problem. Where is your problem from? Your foolishness. Where's your foolishness from? Your poverty. Why are you poor? Why are you poor? Where's your poverty come from? It is from departure from the Creator. Nothing more. People's problem is not money. Sometimes when you see people when you think their problem is money. People's problem is not money. Their basic problem is a departure from the Creator. And once you depart from the Creator, you begin to malfunction. And the malfunctioning of your being, of your state, of the state of malfunction, will show in your foolishness. Because why? Now let me show you a scripture so you understand how it works. Now Romans 1. Somebody help me read from verse 18. So you want to read from verse 18 to verse 18 to verse 23.
Romans 1 from verse 18 to 23 says, Elohim's wrath on unrighteousness. For the wrath of Elohim is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men, who suppress the truth in unrighteousness. Verse 19. Because what may be known of Elohim is manifest in them, for Elohim has shown it to them. Verse 20. For since the creation of the world,
since the creation, taking it back to what? The creation. Don't forget.
For since the creation of the world, his invisible attributes are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his internal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse.
Without excuse.
Because although they knew Elohim, they did not glorify him as Elohim, nor were thankful, but became futile in their thoughts, and their foolish hearts were darkened.
Their foolish heart was darkened.
Professing to be wise, they became fools, and changed the glory of the incorruptible Elohim into an image made like corruptible man and birds, and four-footed animals, and creeping things. Therefore Elohim also gave them up to uncleanness, in the lust of their hearts, to dishonor their bodies among themselves.
Go ahead.
Who exchanged the truth of Elohim for the lie?
They exchanged or changed the truth of Elohim into what?
Lie.
A lie.
And worshipped.
And served
the creature rather than the creator.
More than the creator. Now we're going. Go ahead.
Who is blessed forever. Amen.
Amen. The last verse.
For this reason,
for this cause,
Elohim gave them up.
God gave them up
to vile passions.
To vile affection.
For even their women. Exchange the natural use. For what is against nature.
For what is against nature. Hallelujah. Once the sign and the order of the Creator is violated, man begins to malfunction. Order is established by the Creator. See, the Creator is the only one who gives principle and order by which his creation works. He's the only one, not government, not your parents. Your parents may tell you go left, and the Creator says go right. Who would you follow? If government tells you go left and Creator says go right, who would you follow? If the multitude go left and Jehovah says go right, who would you follow? But many of us, we are following the creatures. We believe more the creatures more than the Creator. You know why? It says to us in verse, look at verse. Look at verse 20-21. So because that when they knew Elohim, they glorified him not as God, neither were thankful. Please help me read again verse 21. I want to show you something there.
Because although they knew Elohim, they did not glorify him as Elohim, nor were thankful.
Stop there. Nor were thankful. What is he saying? No, he's dealing with some kinds of people. They knew Elohim. They encountered Elohim, the word gnosko, to encounter knowledge. Many of our scientists, global scientists, who have dived into dimensions of knowledge through their research, either it's Albert Einstein or famous scientists and all of these guys. See, in all of their research that has to do with the existence of a creator, because that is the challenge for these guys. They are in search of the existence of a creator. Because why? If there is actually an existence of a creator, what does that do to us? It places a responsibility on our shoulder. And the responsibility that puts on our shoulder is to now begin to align our lives with his words, principles, and order. So when these guys discover they have certain breakthrough in their scientific adventure, that even these breakthroughs most of these guys discovered, they did not acknowledge the Creator as the one who gave them the intelligence. And that's one thing you must understand. Most people in the world, if you look at them, you'll find certain level of intelligence and high super intelligence in them. And instead of using this intelligence to appreciate and acknowledge the Creator, they do not glorify Him as the Creator. They are unthankful. And this is what you become each time you see giftings and blessings and open doors and favors, and you look at your life where you are now, and you do not become thankful that the Creator brought me here. You are in for a shock. Intelligence, He gives intelligence, and all of His creation is intelligent. Except they are told otherwise. You are intelligent. No matter where you live, you may live in Alaska, you may live in a desert, you may live in a forest, you may live in a third world country. See, nationality does not determine your intelligence. The Creator has implanted intelligence in all of His creatures. In all of His creatures. So we must learn to be thankful at the things the Creator shows us, the things the Creator gives to us. So we must learn to be thankful, because they were not thankful, they became vain in their imaginations, and their hearts, foolish heart, was darkened. You see why a lot of people have problems? It is their problem is rooted in departure from the principles and the order of the Creator. Say, professing themselves to be wise scholars, wise scientists, till they became fools. Any society, any nation, any individual whose pillar is not founded on the principles and the order of the Creator is a fool nation. You are a fool if the principles that guides your heart is not rooted in the order of the Creator. And we see a lot of foolishness on television. I see it. We see a lot of foolishness on the internet. I saw a video, a picture of some young men who now wear women clothing. Men who now wear women clothing. Not wearing it for casual wearing. That's what they now wear. Cross-dressing. To make matters worse, they are now fashion industries. Design companies, high-level, multi-million design companies that now recruit or pay these people to run through the runway, showcasing how women clothing now look on men. It says, and they changed the glory of the uncorruptible Elohim unto an image made like unto corruptible man, and to birds, and to four-footed beasts, and to creeping things. So this is a reduction. See, that's the issue. If help us, O Lord, to retain the greatness of your majesty. Because why? If society can reduce God, see, that's the issue. See, that's what it says. It says they change the glory. They change. Romans 1 verse 23 says they change the glory of the uncorruptible Elohim into an image made like. How did they do this? They changed the image of the uncorruptible Elohim onto an image made like. So there's a reduction. In other words, if you live in cultures where this is their educational, because I'm going to show you something else, it brings out. Now look at it. Now let me conclude so you see it. It says they changed the glory of the uncorruptible Elohim into an image made like to corruptible man. They reduced God into shapes of corruptible man. So when God is reduced, people can no longer reach out in great faith. See, now look at it again. How are these things possible? In many ways. Because if you promote a vaccine, think about it, how vaccinations have become image. Vaccination an image of corruptible man, making men look at this as God. Inventions, sophistication. So man is now heavily depending on machine, on drugs. So this departure from the Creator is a design by Satan, advanced through men to change the glory of the uncorruptible Elohim into an image made like the corruptible man. Your power will be restored when you discover that the Creator is the custodian of great power. The Creator is the custodian of great power. Those who draw close to the Creator will be creative. Those who draw close to the Creator will be creative. And those who move away from the Creator will be stupid. Will be stupid. So once you move off from the Creator, you become stupid. Praise God. So as we bring this to a conclusion, now look at verse 24. Verse 24. Look at verse 24. So there is a conspiracy, the reduction in our mind, how we perceive the Creator. So the challenge is that when they make these created images, man's capability to fathom, to imagine his majesty, he's deprived from it. Because when he thinks of the Creator, he thinks of created things. He thinks of images. So that limits his power to deeply hallow his name. So once your mind is even poverty, and that's what I was asking you. You can't think of the Creator once your mind is oppressed by poverty. Because the devil knows it, he makes sure nations, he makes sure he gives leaders that are corrupt to make sure a nation will have people suppressed by poverty. And when people are suppressed by poverty, want, need, lack, fear, instability, corruption, they become limited in the power to hallow and to discover the majesty of the Creator. Why? Their minds are suppressed. And this is what we find in most African nations. The minds of so many are suppressed by poverty. So once your mind is suppressed by poverty, the devil who has arranged this system will now bring in false religion. And what false religion does is to now fill the vacuum of the lack of the true knowledge of the Creator. You know what false religion does? Now start telling them, you know what, the problem with your life is your grandfather, your grandmother. So they now start pointing into things. And these things they point to do not lead people to the Creator. Because why? If you find the Creator, you find great power. So what false prophet, false religion does is to point men back to that mundane superficiality, superstition that Paul mentioned in Acts 17. So man becomes oppressed. Look at verse 24. Wherefore God gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves. Somebody help me with verse 25. Loud.
Who exchanged
Who did what?
Exchange
Exchange
the truth
of what?
Elohim
Into what?
For the light.
A lie. Stop there. Thank you. So there is a mastermind. There is a system. There's a program. The agenda is this: to exchange or to change the truth of God into a lie. And once the truth of God is changed into a lie, what happens next? Please complete about what happens next.
And worshipped and served the creator rather than the creator,
who is blessed
forever.
That is the agenda of the adversary. The agenda of the adversary is to change the truth of God into a lie, so people will worship and serve the creator more than the creator. So you see, this is a challenge, and that's where I bring this teaching to a conclusion. The adversary's goal is to exchange the truth of God, that truth that set free, that empower. The truth of God is changed into a lie. And then once that happens, it leads to the worship and serving of the creator rather than the creator. So I call you back in this season to this place of the discovery of the creator. Teach your children of the creator. I beg you. Teach your children of the creator. You yourself know the creator. Know his principles and order. The creator did not order polygamy or polyamorous. The creator did not order. Find out what the creator did not design or order, and tell your kids, this is the design of the creator. This is how his universe runs. This is how he designed it to work. We don't care if mainstream media, if your school, your teacher, your nation, your culture teaches otherwise. We need to be able to teach our children the principles and the order of the creator. Even in financing, if you don't know his principle and order as regards to wealth, to finance, you'll be poor. You'll be poor. You'll be poor. Father, we thank you in this season. We bless your holy name. As we've looked at your word intently and we've gazed deeply at your word, I pray you cause us to restore the understanding of the Creator and to discover him afresh and to know his principles and his order and to live our lives accordingly with that order. We thank you, Jehovah, for answering our prayer today. In Yeshua's mighty name, pray. Amen. So I'm going to give an opportunity right now to give to Jehovah and to equally support House of Israel, Nigeria. Your giving allows and empowers us and supports us in executing the mandate of the discipling the nation. We are bringing truths, buried truths exchanged for a lie. We are bringing those truths back to resurrection in nations, countries, regions, communities, and that's why we exist, to shatter the walls of darkness and to stretch for the light of Jehovah in the lives of men. And you need to support a ministry like us advancing the kingdom of Jehovah, preaching and teaching the true gospel of the kingdom. It's a rare privilege that you are alive and the Creator has blessed you with finance, and the Creator has blessed you with wealth. Whatever the Creator has blessed you with, he has blessed you with it to advance and glorify his name. So you must point everything back to the hands of the Creator. So you can right now give your offerings and then just drop your offering there. And if for those who are watching, you can send the offering through PayPal, through Cash App. Go on our website and click on the donation button, and then you'll be guided on how to give to House of Israel, Nigeria. And as many of us know, we are embarking on a 1-year project which we've tagged the Kingdom Legacy Project. And through your help and your support, we have moved at a light and a speed that can only be by the mercy and the grace of Jehovah. And I also want to bring to your notice that we receive a $10,000 matching donation. And the goal of this is that when you give to House of Israel, the anonymous donor who has given this money matches all of your donation. It doubles your donation instantly. So if you give $1,000, it is matched and it becomes 2,000 US dollars. So we want to raise up to 20,000 US dollars through this program. And we want to appreciate you over that as you give towards the matching challenge. We deeply need this very urgently. And please give towards the matching challenge. And as you do, may God bless you and enrich you, and may He restore all of your losses, and may you restore the things the locusts and the cankerworm have eaten, in Yeshua's mighty name. So I look forward to seeing you this coming Shabbat for a special worship meeting that will bless your life forever. And as you do, may God bless you mightily. So I want to put an advertisement of the Kingdom Legacy Project. So while you're watching, I bless you. And I decree your vast grace rest upon you. May His anointing fill you. May His power be upon you in a mighty way. May all you put your hands upon to do prosper. May you be the lender, not the borrower. May you be the head only and not the tail. May all you put your hands upon to do prosper. In Yeshua's mighty name, pray. So we're going to see you on Shabbat. So with that, I say, be blessed. Be blessed. Shalom Saint, thank you so much for being a part of our Kingdom Legacy project construction. We have been able to come this far because of your partnership. And we want to appreciate every partner who has supported our dream of building a discipleship training center dedicated to discipling the nation and equipping the saints. A community where lives are transformed, the love of Messiah is shown, the true gospel of the kingdom is presented. And this is how far the project has come because of your timely support. We want to encourage you to keep supporting this project, and together we will see the completion of this great work. A place of peace, a place of refuge, and a place of truth. Our international guest house is also being built, so we look forward to seeing you and having you on the feast days and feast season. We love you. Shalom.